Good morning, everybody. I am so sorry. I know that some of you are actually up late like me, and I've been trying for the last almost 2 hours now to get everything set up and try to do go live. Went from my iPad to the computer to Chrome to Edge back to my iPad. On the computer, no matter what I do, I mean, the microphone shows it's working and everything, but for some reason it's not recording. On my iPad, I finally figured out how to get it to work, but then after like a couple of minutes, it cuts the video off. So I'm back to this way, and now it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I still haven't done either one of my videos. So I'm probably going to go through this a little quicker than I normally would, and I apologize, especially for those that actually want me to go through all of the trades. But we're going to get started. And so, a reminder that GameStop had their earnings this afternoon, and then restorative, I think that's what it was, restorative hardware. I'd have to look at that again. They are tomorrow after close, and then Hut 8 will be before the market opens on Thursday. So I've got this pulled up. If you didn't watch the Yieldmax ETF single stock roundup earlier today, I showed this, but just to explain the grayed area on the left of each little box, that's pre-market. The one on the right for each ticker is going to be aftermarket, and so everything in the bright green or black in the middle is the intraday. It's sort of hard to tell when you look at this where the stuff is. Oh, I didn't want to do that because then it'll click on it, and I know you don't want me to click on them. But it's a little hard, but it's the little white right there. I wish I could change it. But the market did decent today overall until the end of the day. You can see here how some of these just tanked right there at the end of the day. But of course, some of these did not. Some of these, like this one, what is that? Oh, that's RH there, tanked right at the beginning. Several of these did a little bit, but the big thing is GameStop, because they reported earnings today, and so look at this right here. They dropped like 10% right at close or right after close. If I recall correctly, the numbers came out. They were bad, but they weren't going to do their conference call today, and I don't recall if they said they were going to do it in the morning or what. So there's no telling what's going to happen when they do the conference call. But anyway, just wanted to show that to you real quick. And I did add to the sheet somewhere the market data. And maybe it wasn't this one because I've been working on all of the sheets. Yeah, it's not this one. It'll be the next video, I guess, that I do for the single stock Yieldmax ETFs. So on this one, we won't go through the holdings tab, no, the trades tab, because the only one we had, and I'll just go down here to it, was W, and that is Wayfair. So let me just open it since it is a new one. So we have Wayfair Inc. there, and I don't have formulas built in here anymore, so this may or may not have just come through. It may not have come through before I copied and pasted it, assuming that the data is even there, because we see RH still doesn't have data there. But, yeah, and some of these up here don't have them right now either. But, again, it just could have been a copy and paste. I know earlier when I got ready to go do the video, I was doing this one first because I couldn't get the Yieldmax single stock stuff. I couldn't get the stuff loaded for some reason. Google was lagging bad. But this was the only one, so they ended up buying the underlying stock of Wayfair, 22,100 shares, costing $1.45 million. And then, of course, they sold 221 contracts and brought in a premium of $11,700. So that I'll just go over this one, I guess. Since I'm here, the short call for that one will expire Thursday. As a reminder, Friday is a holiday for the stock market anyway, so it will be closed. So all of the options contracts will expire Thursday, and if I any of those that don't expire this Thursday, I'll try to remember to point them out as we go through. But this one has a strike price of $68, and we are 5% below that strike price, and they actually came up 2% today. But that was the only new trade. So if we just go back through up here, let's go over the top for a second because I changed some things. So up here, I did have the price, the NAV, and the change, but because I changed some stuff on the other workbook for the single stocks, I ended up changing here also. So now I've got on here the yesterday's close price, and I think I changed it over there to current. It doesn't really matter. But that's yesterday's close. This is today's, which is going to, at this point, it's going to be today's close. And then this is where the NAV is at. Yeah, and now that I look at that, well, I copied and pasted that before midnight, but I do not think that I put in the new formula when I built that, now that I think about it. So let me look over here. Yeah, I did not, because I knew it was there was a 2 cent difference from doing the daily roundup earlier today. So this should, since this is all no formulas in this now. So anyway, we closed yesterday at 18.28. So you can see today we were down 2 cents, and the NAV is 18.19. So I've changed that. I did move this to give me more space, so it doesn't say number of tickers anymore. It just has a number and 20. And what I did do is this. So we had the whole, what should we use, to determine what the distribution would be. We've had the discussions between, like Max, Rod, myself, maybe a few others. And, we all can't necessarily come to a consensus because we're not really sure, right? And Jay can't really tell us the ins and outs of everything when it comes to that, right? So what we're doing, we're just going to have to do a best guess. But what I've decided to do is I'm just going to, I'm trying to see, because I've been doing all this stuff. I can't remember what workbook I did what in or changed what. But this is the one that I showed this weekend when I did the weekly roundup. And so this right here was based off of just the premium that we receive total. And I've added this. This one wasn't there this weekend. But now this is going to be if they go off of the net, right? Whether it's the premium they bring in, and then if they have to pay to close it out, that will be included in this as well. So the way I've done that for the tab, because, sometimes people, one, I don't normally go over that every day, which I've changed it now, so I'll have to try to remember to do that. But when you put a number up there, then, people tend to just run with it. And I've seen it happen with Rod, and I was like, oh, well, Rod said it was going to be this, and, well, yes, I mean, he might have said that it was an estimate as of that point in time, but that doesn't mean that that's what it's going to stay. So like even this, right, we have a range. If it's the net, we're on the low end at 72 cents, right? But if we're looking at just the premium that we received for selling those calls, it's a little higher at 135. Of course, we all have to remember also that the outstanding share count, could go up significantly. before declaration date. And they may, well, it's not going to be an issue this week because we still have a couple of more weeks before declaration date. But with this fund, if you haven't watched the previous videos, most of those trades are going to be on Monday. So, and then the rest of the week, you're not going to have so many trays or they're going to close out. So the reason I use that example, because if we're going based off of premium, well, most of the premium is going to be brought in on Monday. Well, and the outstanding shares keep going up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, by the time you get to Friday, we still may be looking at the same premium amount, but we're looking at more shares, so that this number here would then be decreased, right? So just please understand that when you look at these things, and that everything always changes, things are only, at that point in time. So I've put both of them up there. That covers at least two of the like four or so different types of situations we could do, come to into calculating this. But that will give a current range as of today. And I don't have it on this sheet, but if we're looking at about 23 trading days, this actually should say 10, but we're after midnight at this point. So we've completed like 10 so far. So we're almost halfway through the month before we have our next, I can't even think now, declaration date. So still not looking bad considering. But anyway, so to go over that, and that's all we needed to really go over. So let's just go through these other things fairly quickly, and we'll be done with this video, and I will run over and do the other one, which will probably take longer. Okay, so we have our short call that it expires Thursday for ARM, and we have a strike price of $149, and we're currently 14% below the strike price. And the stock did end up being down 7% today. And then we have ATXS. The short call doesn't expire till next month. We are 23% below the strike price of $17.50, and the stock dropped 8% today. Clean Spark. Short call expires Thursday with a strike price of $27. Currently 14% below that strike price, and it dropped 1% today. Coin expires Thursday, strike price of $3.10. We're currently 14% below that, and the stock was down 5%. Carvana expires Thursday, strike price 97. We are below it by 6%, and the stock went up 3% today. And so since it's Tuesday, we have 2 full trading days left, just a reminder for this week. Then we have GigaCloud Technology. Short call expires next month. Strike price is $30. We are currently 15% below the strike price, and it went down 8% today. GME. So we know that the short call here, this one will expire Friday. I guess I could just pull it up on my thing. I was going to look it up on my phone, but I have it pulled up on here too. So the strike price is 18. At the close today, we were 15.15. And then, I guess I'm not scrolled up. I was trying to figure out where it was. At the end of, well, this doesn't show. Here we go. 12, well, that was 12.54 then. I'm not used to looking at it in this view. So where do I see after hours on this screen? Okay, well, I guess if I did this, then I would see it. There we go. So it looks like we actually closed in the aftermarket at $13, or within a few cents of $13. So we'll see how tomorrow goes with that one. And then we have Robinhood, expires Thursday, strike price 20. We are currently 4% below that, which is not much, right? That's 72 cents. And we did come up 20 cents today, which was 1%. Then we have HUT 8 that expires Thursday, $11 strike price, 10% below that, and they came up 5% today. LabU, which was the biotech ETF, expires Thursday, strike price $135, and we are currently 8% below that. And then it looks like the stock ended up dropping by like 17 cents today. So, and then we have Mara. This one expires Thursday, strike price of 24. We're 15% below that, and it dropped 3% today. My Medicine, strike prices until next month, $11 strike price. We're below it 10%, and the stock dropped 5% today. MSOS, the cannabis ETF, expires Thursday, strike price of 10. We are 6% below that strike price, and it came up 3%. Okay, MicroStrategy. So it didn't look like it did too much today. Sorry, I'm thinking. It expires Thursday. Strike price is 2,100. We are 11% below that, and it looks like it did come up 1% today. Nano X Imaging expires next month. We have a $12.50 strike price. We're 27% below that, and they did drop 6% today. Then we have RH, strike price, short call that expires Thursday with a strike price of $3.20. We are currently 11% below that, and the stock looks like it dropped exactly $1 today. Brute expires next month. Strike price $65. We're 10% below that, but the stock came up 4% today. SMCI expires Thursday. Strike price of $11.70. We're currently 12% below that, and the stock did drop 2% today. And the last one here is the Vikings Therapeutics. With the short call expiring Thursday, the strike price of $80. Now, this is the only one, sorry, having to scroll up, that we are above right now, and it's by 83 cents. So if we had to close that one out, it would cost us, right now it looks like $79,000, but that stock did jump 17% today. So what was $11.60 cents. So interesting. Okay, so I went over a few changes that we made. I didn't go, I didn't read you the shares and the stock prices and all that. I didn't go in depth on here. But hopefully you got the gist of where we stood. You could see where I talked about, since last night's video didn't upload with the volume, but you can see where we sold out of all of these synthetics and bought the underlying stock, and this actually was the tradings tab, but those top four is just where I told you there was an issue because it had the wrong expiration date here, so then it made it to have to cause an issue on the holding. So it looks like they did a reversal to back these back out. So these are just don't need to be paid attention to. So I just deleted the prices not to mess up stuff, and left that Wayfair on there. And then of course and I didn't copy and paste this, of course not. So this data didn't save from my video earlier and got overridden by the formulas. And then I forget because I start going long. Okay, so I know, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling everywhere and I just feel like I'm not totally prepared here. I feel like there's something missing because I think we had 20 ETFs, was it? Or not 20 ETFs, but stocks or ETFs, because it's both, so it does say 20. but I don't see 20 on there, but I can't, it's a pivot table and I can't, look at the pivot table on the iPad. I can only do that on a computer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to make sure. Yeah. So I'm not sure why that is not pulling over. Let's see if I can fix it here. Oh, I bet I know what it was. Yeah, select all, uncheck blanks. There we go. I'm going to have to make me a note to remind me to check that. All right. And I feel like this got really big for some reason. Because I don't know why I have that column in there, to be honest. And I'm just going to make those a little smaller. I hate doing this when I'm on the video. And then I noticed last night I had to do something, and then you had to hear all of my clicking on the screen with the pen. And I bet y'all didn't care for that too much. And I'm just, well, I guess I didn't have to bring it down to cash, so delete. And this is actually only showing, so it's only showing 18, but that's because I didn't bring them all the way down. Oh, so some of these, well, maybe it's because some of these are new, and I adjusted some of these this weekend. That's what it is, because market value, that ranking, I'm pretty sure I did not have that there before. And now I'm on the computer and I can't even find where the formula is. I'm sorry, I guess I can't think straight with it being this late. Okay, I had to pull some formulas and update some things here to make everything show up here on the screen. So Wayfair, so I did copy that one over. Okay, so we have all of them here now. I don't know, I think we did have market value there before, but I might have only had the ranking for the IV and not the market value, but I don't remember now at this point. Or maybe it was the other way around. Yeah, I had this one hidden before too. Oh my goodness. All right, so I had this in order by it's in order by market value. So that's why the ranking is the way it is. So before, when we did this, remember when we started buying the underlying stocks, we couldn't really compare them to the others, but now we can. And if you look here, I've noticed as they started buying them, they're spending anywhere from like 1.5 to 1.8 million. I think there was only a couple of them that maybe had bought in at 1.5, but look at the weightings. So the weightings are, I don't even know if I looked at this last night. They're very close to each other, right? They're 4 to 5%. So it looks like they're trying to do a somewhat even weighting across them, except for maybe the few at the bottom, which Hut was a brand new one yesterday. And then I think Mara, we just bought back into that one yesterday. So I'm not sure why those would be smaller weightings compared, unless, I don't know, maybe they have some kind of system and how they're doing that. But right now we're looking at our highest IVs, implied implied volatilities here: Clean Spark, MicroStrategy, GME, Root, and Hut. So, and then of course number 6 is Mara. So lots of Bitcoin related stuff. And then of course GME just reported. And then our bottom ones there. Sorry, I was thinking. Wayfair at 62%. ARM at 18%. But if you remember seeing on the sheet, it tanked on the charts a second ago. And then RH, and then we have Robinhood up there. But those are the lowest. All right, I'm going to move on over here. So I updated the header to actually state industry. It just said sector before, but I added industry, and nobody said, whether they wanted to keep it or not. I just decided to keep it because when I started looking over here at the right, you can see the sectors totals. You have technology being almost 20% now. So this is another one, right, that was really hard to see visually before because we were holding synthetic positions. So we were holding that call and that put. And so then some of the weightings were then starting to show negative because of all of those calls. But now we're actually holding the stocks. You can actually get a better idea of the weighting here. And now that I think about that, so if we're looking at the cash, so you see our cash and our money market cap, we got about $1 million a piece. So that's why they were holding about 30 million in there last week, and it was so they could end up coming back and purchase the underlying. So now they don't have that that cash just there. And then of course we have these that aren't. And that's either cash, money market, or one of those that didn't have any, because we have a couple of them that don't have the ETFs there, don't have the data for this. Okay, well, that's good too, because like I said, I don't think I paid any attention to that last night either. And then I had started messing with this earlier. Just to see, I know usually we just have our outstanding shares here and our net assets. It looks like we did change there and go up 25,000. I just need to copy that down there. And then I just put a couple of change columns over here to see, if we went up or down in outstanding shares or our net assets. And then I was trying to do a comparison to what the S&P did between the previous day's close and the current day, and the same thing with ULTYs, of course, based on the outstanding shares and net assets. But just to see if we could, get a comparison. I know it's two totally different things, right? But sometimes you want to see. Scroll up to the top. So this is where we began up here, in case y'all want to look at these. So we did bad on some days and good on other days. March 14th doesn't look too good. But then March 20th, yeah, the March 19th wasn't that good. Anyway, that's just something new I know I was playing with earlier. And then I need to add that in there. This is, yeah. And then this was just our previous payout and then our next dates. All right. Hopefully y'all found this useful. I know I still feel bad that, I spent that hour last night going through stuff and then y'all couldn't even hear any of it. And the only way for me to redo it is to re-record it. But, yeah, there was just no way I could do that today. Of course, if you looked at it last night, you could have still looked at it and you could have seen all these trades that were done yesterday. And then this down here, you didn't hear it on the thing, but this SMCI, this one actually closed out. The problem was is they put the wrong expiration date. Therefore, it messes things up when when the data doesn't match up exactly to cancel each other out. And then the one on the bottom is just looks like where they were trying to back out what they had put in there before, because remember those were wrong before because the option expiration date was the 19th and they put the 12th. So, and that was really the big thing, of course, that they sold out of all those synthetic positions. But anyway, I will let y'all go so I can work on the Yieldmax single stock tickers. Thank y'all for being patient with me, especially with those that were on the live version when I was trying to do it the multiple times and had to finally give up. But I do appreciate everybody bearing with me. Y'all have a great day. Bye.